I've got a little chore to tend to down in the woods this morning. Uh, Yesterday evening, I went out yesterday afternoon and I set 5 DP coon traps. Uh, Call them coon cans. The DP trap is a dog-proof trap that the neighbor's dog can't get into, and they're good. They're good traps. They're good catchers. And I'm on my way down into the bottom to see what we did overnight. Okay, this is where we're at, and that's where we're headed to check a couple of traps. And there's 3 more off to the left in the woods along a trail. And standing here, I see what looks like a huge coon in one of my dog-proof traps. I'm gonna get a little closer, and yeah, that's a big coon. I'm about 100 yards away from him. Late yesterday afternoon, I came out and set 5 dog-proof traps. Some people call them coon cans. Dog can't, if you're in an area where people have a lot of dogs that roam around, you don't have to worry about catching a dog in the trap. If you're trapping raccoons, and I made those 5 sets yesterday, and I came out this morning after it was light enough to see what was going on, and lo and behold, 4 out of 5 of the traps held a raccoon, and that was a good night. And the fifth trap, which is here at the end of the line, something visited it overnight, ate a little bit out of it, and then went on. And I'm basically going to top it off and leave it here for another night. And what I'm using is cat food. It's pretty smelly stuff. When I first started playing with the DPs a few years ago, I was mixing up a batch of stuff. I'd go to the dollar store and buy mackerel and sardines and smoked oysters, and I'd mix that stuff up together and use that as bait in my trap. But what I discovered, even though it's effective as a bait in a DP, those processed fish products have a lot of salt in them. Salt and steel don't mix. Anytime you put salt on steel, it's going to cause it to rust. And so I wanted to use something different, and the cat food, dog food will work. The cat food works really good, and I'm just going to top this one off a little bit, scatter a little more around, and maybe in the morning, old Bandit will have his foot stuck in there. The trail that we're on, it's a high traffic trail. You can't see it here, but there's what used to be a small pond over here. During rainy weather, it holds water. It doesn't hold water in dry weather. It's always damp. But the coons have a it's just a virtual coon highway that runs through here, and they'll stop and they'll look around the pond and see if they can find frogs, and then back over further, there's another wet area. There's some natural springs, and there's just a lot of coon traffic back and forth, and so I'm targeting this area right now, and then later on I'll pull these traps and I'll move them to another location and see what I can do there. When you buy these, and I ordered these from Duke, and you can see on this one where I was talking about the salt, what salt does to steel. That's salt damage when I was using that other kind of bait, and I've since quit doing that. When you order them or buy them at the store or wherever you find them, they don't come with the cable attached. They come with the length of chain and the swivel on the end, and I like to attach a piece of cable. That way I can just, as I'm going along and I find a spot, I don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to attach this so that coon can't get loose and run off with my trap, which they will. You simply loop it around a tree or a root, something that's solid, and once it's looped around, it's there. It won't go anywhere. Raccoon doesn't care anything about that cable, right? He won't look at it. All he cares about is getting that meal that's inside of it. Some people can depress the spring and lock the trigger down with their hands. I can't do that. I don't have enough strength in my hands to do that. But they make a neat little tool for setting that, and that's the trigger. This is the trigger. And what that raccoon does is he'll eat out of here, and then when he gets down inside, he'll feel that trigger, and he says, "That's in my way. I can't get any deeper in there, but I can feel that I can feel more food." And so he'll reach in and try to get that trigger out of the way, and when he does, it releases and it catches him here. One of the crazy things about a raccoon, and other animals as well, some animals, but a raccoon is notorious about when it's caught in a trap. If it can reach its paw, it'll chew its paw off to get out of that trap. These eliminate the possibility of that because it has to reach so deep, and then the catching part is up high enough that he can't get to his paw to chew it off. And this just simply sits over, and you use it to depress the spring. Latch it in place, and now it's cocked and ready to go. And you simply press it down in the ground and load it with something that old Bandit would like to make a meal out of. Some people will place a marshmallow on top. There's just all kinds of tricks that you can use. Something that gives it some eye appeal. The raccoon will see that, and the first thing that catches his attention is the sight thing, and then he hones in on it. He smells the food, and he decides to eat. Let's take a minute to talk about something. In this part of the world, trapping for fur is really not something that people do. Primarily because this far south, as warm as the winters are, the furs are worthless. You can't sell them. And you can utilize them still. You can process them yourself and turn them into other products. And we're going to be doing some of that this winter, now that we have time in our retired life to enjoy doing stuff like that. And the primary reason, though, that we trap is more along the lines of subsistence trapping. You might call it survival trapping. And we're going to be focusing on some of that this winter in these little videos that we do, because in a survival situation, you have to feed yourself. In a desperate, maybe the economy collapses, and it's happened before. It's not out of the question. It's happened more than once, and sometimes it's been very dire. It's been very drastic. And how do you feed yourself in those kind of situations? Don't think for a minute that you're just going to take a gun and go out into the woods and kill a deer, because that doesn't happen on a daily basis. But the woods are full of small animals that will keep you alive, and not only keep you alive, but keep you healthy. Squirrels, rabbits, deer, there's a lot of animals that are so lean in fat that if that is your primary protein diet, it is so lean that over time you're going to develop health issues. You may even starve to death with a full stomach because you're not intaking any kind of fats into your diet. And we're going to be dealing with some of that, what we need to stay alive in long-term situations. And areas that really you don't see a great deal of coverage of in the bushcraft videos that abound on YouTube and other places. Not faulting anybody for what they do when they go into the woods, but I think that there's a lot of information that's lacking, especially when it comes to surviving in a long-term situation. And so we focus more on self-reliance and how to get along, and not just get along, but get along well.